So, welcome everyone. It is a new moon solar eclipse in Libra. And oh, let me start the recording. Hold on. Otherwise, you guys aren't going to get the recording, actually. Okay. Welcome. Welcome everyone to the new moon solar eclipse in Libra. And first, I just want to ask, how's your energy been? Where's your energy been at? Are you feeling the effects of this eclipse? As I say, is nature affecting us a real thing? Well, let me tell you, I'm usually a very peaceful, loving, pretty gentle person. Although I've lots of personality and I'm on fire. When it comes to my underlying who I am, I'm at peace all of the time. But today, and my sister can vouch for this because she was hanging out with me this morning. I was yelling at my phone more than once. I'm sitting there. I'm having a challenge with my executive assistant. I'm having a challenge with my tech designer or my graphic designer, and I'm like, and I can feel the energy in my heart. And then literally tonight, before getting ready for this class, I had this really anxious feeling in my system. And I'm never anxious to teach these classes. I'm never anxious to do anything anymore. I had massive anxiety to the point of panic attacks that landed me in the hospital and heart palpitations. And I was diagnosed bipolar in my early 20s before I healed all my stuff. And so I used to have massive anxiety. And I used to be a yeller. I grew up in a family that yells at each other all of the time. And so a couple of those things, I felt that return today, and that stuff building up in my system, and I was like, what's going on? And then I was like, oh yeah, it's the eclipse. I will give it some of that. I will say, because I haven't actually felt that kind of anxiousness or wanting to yell at something in a really, really, really long time. And so I'm curious for you that are here with us and watching this, what's happening for you? Are you noticing that? I haven't actually felt that kind of anxiousness or wanting to yell at something. And then we have tech issues. And so I'm curious for you, put in the chat if you're watching, here or on the replay. I'd love to know, what has been your experience with what's happening in this eclipse portal, and what's going on for you. And what I know to be true, and where I'm taking this information from that's coming into my body. And, when I'm yelling at my phone, which obviously, as my sister said, she can't hear your tone of voice. And I was like, yes, thank God she can't hear my tone of voice right now. She's only seeing the message that is, nice, because it was this thing. And what that is old crap, old patterns, old karma, old things that have been in our field that we're finally have released and let go, or things that are not serving us, or just came back for a little touch to be like, dun, 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 have you really changed? What's going on there? Beep, beep. Can I trigger you a little bit and see where you're at? So we're here in this pivotal cosmic moment. And it's not just because of, that it's this powerful energy, but it's also the final eclipse in Libra for this cycle, and the last one we'll experience until 2033. And so we've been in what I would like to call, what I'd call a cosmic pressure cooker. Does anybody else feel like they're in a pressure cooker? I want to know, am I the only one? Are you gonna leave me alone here, right? No, Melissa, it's just you in the pressure cooker. I know ever since I've come back from Burning Man and in the conference that I had, that I have been with the docu-series that we just had on. We had a live event, and then we had this stuff, I've literally been feeling that. And so my intention for October is what I call wicked fun. I'm gonna play and passion and movement, because that's what we really need to bring more of in. But there's been this pressure cooker, you're cooking the rice really fast right now. And so this is the last eclipse that we'll see in what we call the nodes of Aries and Libra. And it coincides with the final weeks of Pluto in Capricorn before it transitions into Aquarius. And this is the last time in our lifetimes, pretty much, it doesn't matter how old you are, in our lifetimes, that we will see Pluto in Capricorn. And so all of these cosmic factors mean that this eclipse marks a turning point. but not just for us personally, but for the collective as well. And not only for the collective, but for Mother Gaia. So on September 17th, when we had the full moon eclipse, Mother Gaia shifted into her fifth dimensional experience. She shifted in. And so she's there now holding that new vibration. And she's asking all of us, yo, are you going to come along for the ride? Like, are you here with me? Are we going to do this together? And then what happened? Look at the hurricanes, right? Look at all of the chaos and all of the destruction and all of the stuff that's happening right now. It was literally written in the stars that something like this would happen. Now, we did not know that there would be this tragic, devastational hurricane that would wipe out and kill so many people and do such devastation, like one of the worst hurricanes we've seen in 200 years, they say. And I've lived through many in my life. And so I can only imagine what is happening. But there's this piece of like, there are souls that are being like, yo, time for me to go. I'm out right now. Like, I'm not going to go into this vibrational shift. I'm not going to play in this time frame. And Mother Gaia in herself, in the energies of all of this chaos within us, right? What is inside gets reflected outside. It gets reflected in the nature. It gets reflected in the weather. It gets reflected in the person in front of you and your relationship, right? All of these things are showing up for us, and it's asking us to really pay attention. So what exactly is an annular solar eclipse? So an annular solar eclipse occurs when the moon, so this is our little new moon, right? New moon is black right now because the sun, you know, is in that place, is directly between the earth and the sun. But the moon is too far from earth to completely overtake the sun, so it creates what's called a ring of fire. So just think about that in your own life. Like, think of what would a ring of fire, like, symbolically mean to you? Like, when you step into the ring of fire, right? Phoenix rising, things burning down, ashes everywhere, right? Like, all of this stuff happening. And so this ring of fire effect, this symbolizes that while we're receiving new beginnings, which, like all new moons, there's still something that has yet to be fully integrated, hence the incomplete covering. So this eclipse is especially potent because it falls on what is called our south node. Now, I just tell people, like, if you don't know a lot about astrology or you're really into it, all you need to know is think about south as being like that back there behind you, and north as being like that up there in front of you. Like, when we follow our north star, where we're going, we're moving forward. And so the south is like, what is it I gotta release? What do I got to let go of? It represents our karmic baggage, the patterns we need to let go of to move forward. So just like me today, when I had a little inkling of my 20-something-year-old self that used to yell at the phone and got super anxious and anxiety, it was like, hey, this is a part of my old story and my old stuff that somehow just kind of seeped in for me today. So before we go on, I want to know, for you, what's seeping in for you? What have you noticed? What is your old karmic stuff? What is a pattern that you thought you may have let go of, or that you have, but that's kind of showed its little ugly head? I want you to share. Please share in the chat, or share if you're watching the replay, and like, let me know, what are you noticing? Like, what's happening for you right now? Let's see what we got going on. We got so many things going over here. We have people from all over, from all different parts of the world. I would say Panama and Canada and Germany, and then all over the United States. No, I am not a Libra, Dave. I actually don't have any Libra in my chart whatsoever, which is super fascinating, at least not in the 12th house, right? Having trouble staying focused, manifest old stories repeating endlessly. I love whoever's saying they're feeling very grounded. Fabulous. I love that. I've actually had a couple people send me, because I send out the cosmic energy report, and they're like, I'm not actually feeling that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. Good for you. I spent the night up, anxious, feeling spikes of anger since Sunday. Yeah. I told a couple of people off, and there's nothing more stressful than this is happening. Yes, a pressure cooker. Health and extreme financial challenges, and my guides want me to quit coffee. What? I don't know. I'm on a 3-day fast. So I do a 3-day fast every new moon. It helps with my channeling. It helps me to keep a clear channel. I'm one of those coffee drinkers that I love coffee for the taste, not for the caffeine kind of thing. So I still do the coffee. Like I had my little espresso this morning. So I understand you. Lots of anxiety, agitation, nervousness, and let's see what else we got going on. So yeah, confused about purpose and passion, old stories of not being chosen. Ooh, yeah, not believing in my own manifestation. So many things, right? This is what's happening. We have all of these things, these experiences here showing and sharing with us. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So let's look a little bit deeper into the experience of this Libra solar eclipse. And if you have pen and paper, and if you want to write and journey with me on some of these questions, it might help you. So I want you to take a moment and think back to October of 2023. This is when we experienced the last Libra solar eclipse. In that solar eclipse, I was in Europe. I can remember very clearly what was happening because I was going through it. I had just left a Hay House event where I was super excited. I got to be a part of this amazing Hay House event in the UK, and then I was headed to Switzerland for another big event that was happening. And so I was at the same time going back to my home in Portugal to move from Portugal back to the United States, which I thought I would never do. And I can look at what was happening, what I was experiencing in October of 2023, and really see the connection. So I want you to think about October 2023 and what changes have taken place in your relationships, your career, and your personal life since then. Well, I know in October of 2023, I was in a relationship. I know I had not started my mystery school yet because I was after I'd already shut down the Intuitive Intelligence Academy that had been successful for many years, and I was deciding where I was going to go next with my teaching. And although that was when I got a runner-up in the Hay House writing contest to publish my book with them that is now coming out in March of 2025. That was a piece of the career and a piece of moving into sharing this work in a deeper level in a different way. And in my personal life, it was the first experience of the rockiness that was happening in my relationship that ended up ending at the next eclipse in April of 2024. So I'm having a whole eclipse thing going on. So what was happening and taking place for you in your relationships, in your career, or in your personal life in October of last year? So we're just a little bit less than a year from that time. And then notice, are there any similar themes or challenges surfacing? Because right now, we are completing the lessons of that previous eclipse. We're completing the lessons of what started and what was moving through us last October. But it's not going to be a final end. We have until March of 2025 when the final eclipse in this Libra-Aries axis takes place, and that one will be in Aries. But this moment marks a significant culmination point of everything you've been working through over the past year. So what have you been working on? My deepest things that I worked on that I finally feel like I've transformed and healed was my feeling of abandonment or rejection, or that piece of that which came to me through relationship, right? And that's what we're talking about a lot with this Libra-Aries axis. And so just from everybody that posted or shared something right there in the chat, I want to know, how is it? Is there, do you notice a theme from a year ago? Was coming into your spiritual self. I love that. Wendy says, I was in an Airbnb in a new town for all of October getting sober. My entire life has changed for the best since then. Been sober for over a year now. And the reason, I'm sorry, I'm choking up, guys, because that's my sister who we thought we were going to lose. Yeah, so really powerful to hear that. Started working on myself, but took a wrong turn. But that's the biggest similarity, but right, because now I'm seriously working on my self-concept, abandonment, and not being chosen. Yeah, Yeah. But what were the things, Miriam, that were coming into you that created you wanting to start working on yourself, right? Were those themes the same? Really powerful to look at that and to pay attention to those things. Yeah. Great. So now let's dive into understanding the dynamics of this Libra and Aries axes, and understanding these building on relationships, right? Whether it's relationship with self or relationship with someone else, or relationship in, career, or any of that kind of stuff, like this relationship with ourselves and others. And so this eclipse series really has shown a bright light on relationships. It has been all about it. So since July of 2023, when these nodes, remember south and north, when they shifted into the Aries and Libra axis, we've been learning to let go of the shadow aspects of Libra, which is the relationship piece, and step into the higher octave of Aries energy. So Libra, who is ruled by Venus, is about harmony, relationships, beauty. But the shadow side of that could involve, tell me if you have any of these. Put a 1 in the chat if any of these are you. People pleasing, codependency, avoiding conflict for the sake of peace. Any of those, any part of that you've had in the past, or like been moving through. And Aries, who is ruled by Mars, pushes us towards self-assertion, courage, independence. But the shadow side of Aries, see if this one's you, put a 2 in the chat, can be isolation, anger, impulsivity. Well, we can see where mine was this week. It was the Aries. The Aries shadow side of the anger and a little bit of isolation. I've been isolated for a couple of weeks, just trying to contain my own energy back from all the stuff that's been happening. So here's some questions to ask yourself here. Are you clinging to relationships or dynamics that no longer serve your highest good? Is there any kind of dynamic that is still there? I know in the last couple of weeks during this eclipse, I have finally said, I'm a giver. I'm an overgiver. I am a giver to the giver of the ends, right? And even when I'm not receiving the reciprocity, I still give, because that's who I am. But you have to give from a cup that's overflowing. But there are times, and if I don't receive the reciprocity from that specific person, that's fine, because I'm going to receive it from somewhere else. I have filled my cup. But there are still times when I have a relationship or an experience in my life where I have to set a boundary and say, this is no longer serving me. This relationship no longer serves my highest good. And it is now time for me to take a step back, because all I do is give, and I can't deal with the selfishness or the experience that comes from that person who may not be a bad person, but is living through their own stuff, right? So are you clinging to relationships or dynamics that are no longer serve your highest good? Or are you sacrificing your needs for the sake of keeping the peace? Or have you embraced an overly independent lone wolf mentality? Just let me know. Have any of those been part of your experience that you're finally working through in this eclipse season? Clinging to dynamics that no longer serve, relationship dynamics that no longer serve your good, or sacrificing your needs to keep the peace, or embracing an overly independent lone wolf mentality. I got this. I can do it all alone. I'd love to know. Share in the chat. Let me know if that's. But here, what the Libra season, this Libra-Aries axis is asking us is about the middle way, finding the middle ground, right? The Buddhists talk about the middle way, finding this balance, learning to be both a strong leader in our own lives while maintaining healthy, harmonious relationships with others. So during this eclipse, you're being asked to find this balance. It's about releasing the dysfunctional relationship patterns, but not burning bridges that can support your journey later. We don't want to burn those bridges. We want to hold into that. So what happens in this space is, how do I, stand up for myself? How do I hold into my own relationship dynamics for me? Not go to the space of being alone, not being self-sacrificing and keeping the peace, but also not not clinging to something that I don't need, but being able to find a way to communicate in our relationship. So this beautiful energy that we're in right now during this eclipse brings in the energy of, we have the sun, the moon, and the Black Moon Lilith are all conjunct to Mercury. And Mercury is all about how we talk, how we communicate, right? This highlights the need to shift how we think and talk about our relationships. So how we talk to our relationships. Me today, yelling at my phone does me no good. And having, you know, that right? But it was that energy of the Aries and of the energy of that anger showing up, and my communication style completely went out the window. Thank goodness I was yelling to a text and not actually to somebody on the phone. And that, you know, that I could have the recognition of that and be like, okay, you've got to come back and be like, what is going on? So we have this energy of Mercury, right, with the planet of communication, asking us to shift how we think and talk about relationships. And then we have beautiful Mars in Cancer that's squaring this eclipse, that brings in the tension between our desire for safety and our need for change. That's a yummy one. How can I both have safety, right? What is safety? Safety means I'm going to cling to a relationship dynamic that no longer serves my highest good. Safety means that I'm going to sacrifice my needs for the sake of keeping peace. Safety means I'm just going to do it all alone, because if I do it all alone, then I don't have to rely on anybody else and I keep my own safe harbor, right? But we have this dynamic of saying we do these things because we're looking for this sense of safety or security or love or belonging with something or someone. And instead we're saying, okay, now with this balance, how do I balance my need for safety, my need for security, my need for support, and this need for changing what the heck's going on? Like, to no longer do it anymore. And so the Mars in Cancer can make us, here we go guys, reactive, defensive, self-protective, leading us to either conflicts, yelling at your phone, or passive aggressive behavior. So this configuration is asking us to mature in the way we handle our emotions and express our needs. And so the balance between that Mercury-Mars square brings up old ways of communicating that need to be transformed. It's literally telling me, like, this is why I say when people say astrology is not real, and I'm like, may not be real for you, but when I'm yelling at my phone and it's telling me that part of the reason is because of what's going on in the energy system around me, and I read energy, I feel energy, I can feel everything, I feel the solar flares. Why would I not feel the energy of planets, which are huge, moving and doing things, right? We all do. So it brings up these old ways of communicating that need to be transformed for us to have healthier, more mature relationships. So I want you to think about those three pieces, right? The relationship dynamics, the sacrificing your needs, the lone wolf mentality. And I want you to think of, like, what is one thing that I could use to shift my communication style and still feel safe, but change that communication style, right? Oh yeah, we got lots of people, codependent, yes, people pleasing, changing that, beautiful, yeah. I isolate and suppress my negative feelings, have directed a lot of anger, right? If we suppress our negative feelings, what is it gonna do? It's gonna come out in anger or a champagne effect, or, you know, finding ways that, you know, that when we didn't feel safe. I love that she says because it wasn't safe to express it as a kid. Yeah. How many of you were not allowed to express or the way, or, you know, kids are supposed to be heard and or be seen and not heard, right? That was always one. Or, you know, be a good little girl, boys don't cry, right? All of these things that when we suppress that into our systems, that then becomes something where later in our lives, it really shifts things and it moves things in a different way. So like looking at that, so what is an action that you can take that would allow you to shift the way that you're communicating? And that may be getting rid of the dysfunctional. Maybe the communication is I love you, but I can't do this anymore. That's what I had to do. I had to put a boundary up with someone in my life and be like, I can't do this anymore with you. I love you and I will always love you, right? But this is not how we can't keep going on in this way, you know, anymore. And it's time to move on, you know, and doing it in a loving way, right? Sometimes the when you let go of the clinging, it opens the door for something even more beautiful and new. Oh, here we go. So Louise says, I am a giver and I have a relationship that is on hold for him to have him time to consider where he wants it to go. Well, Louise, I would ask, what do you want? Is that your highest good? Is that what your soul is begging you for? For this person that has to make a decision on whether they want the goddess that you are in their life? Maybe it is. Maybe it is worth holding on to. I don't know the answer to that, but make sure you know the answer. And I know, and Barbara's saying, I do sacrifice myself to keep the peace. And what is that costing you? That's the question I want to ask. What is it costing you? If you are someone that sacrifices yourself to keep the peace, what is it costing you in the long run? Lone wolf, a lot of lone wolf, yeah. This tension between safety and change is resonating greatly. Yeah. Like, how can I still be safe, right? And find the balance between these two. I love all the comments and everything in here. It's really powerful. I'm so glad that you're all sharing. All right. So this is the piece of like really feel this in your attention. I want you to come out of today, right? The ceremony, we're going to be doing some things at the end. We're going to be implementing and putting some stuff together. We're going to be doing breath work because Libra is in the air sign. So one of the most transformational things you can do with the air sign is breath work. And we're going to be working through some of these. So have a really clear idea of like, what am I releasing and letting go? What am I calling in? And how is this affecting me in these, you know, in these two places together? Really powerful. Great. So now let's go in and talk about Pluto. So Pluto is the Lord of the underworld. He is the planet of transformation, death, and rebirth. Here it comes again. We're talking about an eclipse, right? And then we have the eclipse here with Pluto hanging out, he's like conjunct, and he's like over there, and he's like, yo, I am here to bring you your transformation, your death, and your rebirth. So when I think of Pluto, I think of the Phoenix rising. I think of burning the whole world down and throwing it up in flames, walking away, and reinventing your life. And so this energy in Capricorn, which is for the last time in our lifetimes, right, is really powerful. So think of it like this. In 2008, right, so 2008 was when Pluto began transforming in major areas. The government, authority, world economies, big business. Remember 2008? How many of you guys remember 2008? Yep. Remember all of that? Well, so as Pluto exits Capricorn, we're going to see the final stages of these collective transformations around that stuff. When I keep saying, to those of you that followed my stuff, but we have 1 billion people waking up, right? And that we have this big thing going on in the realm of these 5-year transformational experience that started a little while ago. Excuse me one second. My belief is that we're going to start to see things crumble even more as Pluto exits Capricorn. These things like the government and the way that we're experiencing it, authority, the world economy, we're already seeing it. Big business, all of these things that, like the underbelly, right? The Lord of the underworld, the underbelly is being shown. It's being like, it's saying, hey, this is the movement that we need in this deep place of transformation. We have to let it die so that it can be reborn. So my question, let's go back for those of you that are old enough. I'm just going to say that. For those of you that are old enough to remember 2008, how has your relationship with authority, structure, and your own power transformed since 2008? Just think about that. Like, think about where were you in 2008? So in 2008, fascinating. In 2008, I was 4 years removed from my experiences as a drug trafficker after saving my life and getting out so that I could do that. I was in a place of trying to find my grounding and everything in my new life, right? And I was let me be crass, a fuck you to authority, right? In 2008, I still was in that place of the big time rebellion, you know, big time. I didn't have structure in my life at all. And I thought power was a bad thing because I only saw power as something that was a force over others. And then in 2009, I ended up homeless and lived in my car for a year, and that changed my whole life, right? And my ideas around authority, and now I see authority as someone that has something or knowing that maybe I don't know enough about yet. My life lives by structure. I wouldn't be able to show up here to teach you guys if I didn't have structure in my life. You know, like everything, it fits into that. Organization and my own power. I had no power. I didn't even know what it was to stand in my solar plexus, in my purpose, in my power, to have that strength, to be able to stand strong in yourself. How many of you know and can feel into your body and know the truth of your own power right now? Or how many of us that still wobbling? I got some that raise a hand, raises yes, yes. This transformation here is calling you into more of your own power so that we can take a stand as an authority on where the world is going. Instead of giving our power away to someone else or looking at ourselves as less than, we can stand in that power and say, okay, this is where I'm at right now. So these transformations, they may feel chaotic, and on the world stage, we are witnessing major disruptions. Again, major disruptions in the natural, the earth, how things are showing up in that, and then also we have here in the United States a election coming up soon, and I think it will be the last election of its kind. I think that there's going to be a major change in the dynamics of the U.S. political system when Pluto finally transitions out of Capricorn and into Aquarius, that we are going to see some massive, massive changes in how our political system is experienced, which is going to be a beautiful thing. Because this Pluto is about stripping away illusions to reveal the truth and although this process is really uncomfortable, it's necessary for our collective illusion, or a collective illusion. It's necessary for that too. It's necessary for our collective evolution. That was a really good Freudian slip. So really thinking about that, like how has your life shifted and transformed since 2008 with this experience of things like your own power, your authority, your structure? Are you standing more in your own power than you were in 2008? How can you take that into an experience on an even deeper level, right? Of your soul's purpose, standing into your truth, aligning to that. Every single one of you are here tonight because you have joined and are joining me for 3 days of transformational work around literally how to stand into your power and walk in your soul's purpose, to share it with the world. Whether you're someone you're like, I don't even know what my soul's purpose is yet, or 2, I got it, I know what my soul's purpose is, but I need to really, I want to be out there more in the world. Or 3, you're like, I'm rocking it, but how do I even create more impact? And soul's purpose, I know now my soul's purpose is to be in devotion, to be in peace and love. I thought at one time it was about having the business or running an academy, but it's not. It's about aligning to even more love. But then how do I show up in that to show up in the world, on this deeper level? And that's really about that soul purpose is about this confidence, this power to stand in whatever you're called to in this life and in this world. That's the more for you. Like, what is it you want more of? So let's see what else we've got going on over here. Contracts are ending with those that don't want to work on awakening or doing the ascension work. Yes, that is why we're seeing a lot of the chaos. Like, I know that there's wars going on. I know that there's not the stuff that's happened over in like Palestine and Israel and the people with the hurricanes. It is all very tragic and devastating, but their soul contracts are up. They're like saying, it's time for me to go. It's time for these things to end. It's time for a new way. And then on the top of that, we do have 8 billion people on this planet, and more souls are coming in as the volunteers to come in and say, I'm here to help. I'm here to volunteer to show the way. I am here, and very advanced souls that are coming in. How many young little ones are coming in more awakened than ever before? And we have to foster that for them. We have to allow them to have that experience. I love that. Thank you, Louise. Not too much feeling manifestation is extremely overdue. Yeah. So in 2008, I was 11. Okay. You were a little one, viewing myself as a poor disabled girl and thought I don't deserve all of the things because I'm not good enough. Authority was the highest good, gave my power away. Yeah. Thank you, Miriam, for sharing. And so how, Miriam, can you, and you at such a young age, 11 years old, to be feeling that way about yourself, you're giving your power away. So how do you stand into that in a different way now? But you're still wobbling, but you're getting stronger. I love it. Wobbly. Yes, you're wobbling. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing in this upcoming series that we're working on is, how do I stop the wobble? How do I really stand into that truth? You're going to learn energetics and ways to bring in light and channel and ground into the ground and fill up your body on multidimensional levels that are going to allow you to really stand into that. And if you're at a place where you're in that vibrational frequency and you're living there, then you get to say, now how do I take that even to the next level, right? It's so beautiful. All right, let's see. Procrastination is my biggest setback. Fascinating. And so my question when it comes to procrastination is, I don't know how, let's see how I'm going to put this in the right way. There's something about, Marianne Williamson had a quote, right, about it is not our darkness that we're afraid of, it is the light or the greatness of who we are. And I really feel like, and as someone who was a business coach at one time and did some other things, when I saw people in procrastination, I always felt that it was because there was something about them stepping even deeper into their greatness that scared the living crap out of them. Like, who am I, right? When I opened the mystery school, so the story behind the mystery school and how after shutting down my super successful Intuitive Intelligence Academy and all of those things that I was doing, and then taking that year off, and I came back around in 2023 and started asking the question of my guides and asking the question, it's like, what am I supposed to do next? And I kept getting this message, you're going to open a mystery school. No, I'm not. I kept telling my guide, no, I'm not. Like, I would literally sit here and have arguments like this. Like, we're not doing this. Like, I don't know, right? Like, there's no. And I kept getting the message, and it was stronger and stronger. And the more I would meditate and the more that I would do that, I even ran one of my old programs from my old school, my Quantum Miracles. You guys have all heard about Quantum Miracles. One of my old programs, filled it to the max with tons of people, brand new people, and still kept getting the message, you're supposed to be teaching something else. And so finally in February of this year, in 2024, because I was so afraid, I said, all right, you want me to open a mystery school? Then you fill it. You fill it. I literally said that. I challenged my guides, my higher self, and I was like, I'm not going back to doing things the way I did it before, where I was, the marketing and all of the yucky, whatever, like, it just was too much for me. So if you want me to open a mystery school, you fill it, and then if it's successful the first round, I'll do it again. And sure enough, 20 people signed up for my mystery school after a couple of emails and a webinar that I did, that they're like, we're all in. And I was like, And then we went through this powerful, incredible experience, and everybody had massive life-changing experiences, and I taught things and brought in information in ways that I had never before, and books would fall off the shelf and information would come in, and I was like this, and I was like, where's it all coming from? And then I realized, I was like, oh, this is me being afraid to be a channel. It's not about me, but I'm the channel that's supposed to bring through this new information, and I have to do that. And that was how the Sacred Soul Alchemy Mystery School was born earlier this year, and that we now are having our second cohort, and we're going to be doing a whole year experience that starts now at the end of October. But I didn't come to it willingly. I didn't come to it being like, I'm going to do this thing, right? Yes, it's going to be amazing. And I'm just going to, because that's how I built all my other businesses, and how I did that, because I was like, oh, I'm doing this and I want to teach this to the world and I want to help people. And this time I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to go to that realm. I don't want to talk about that stuff. So sometimes we're so afraid of our light, right? Just like, Sun Owl, I love that. Sun Owl is saying, that we have to be, afraid of things not working out, any of those things. For me, it wasn't about it not working out. It was about me stepping into something I was super uncomfortable, that I didn't believe I had the right to teach, that I didn't believe I was the right person. Like, I was like, who am I? And then I was told, well, because of your initiations in Egypt, when you laid in the sarcophagus and they came and they did ceremonies on you, and because of this and because of the way you're bringing, this is why you are the person to do this. And I was still like, no, nope, I don't want to believe, even to the point of when we were in Bali this past year for my retreat, this year in 2024, that I was like getting information coming through, and I was like, I want to see it. I want to see them in front of me. And Barbara, who's on our call here, can tell you the story. She was there with me, and her and our Balinese healer walk out, and I'm in another room with the rest of the group, and I'm doing channeling and I'm speaking messages. And the Balinese healer sees, and he's like, who are those people? And Barbara's like, what? And he's like, I see people standing there. And then he's like, what is she doing in there? And they come in, and she whispers in my ear, and she's like, there are entities out there. And I was like, oh, I asked to see, and they were here. And it was Ra and Hathor and Isis and Mother Mary that had come in to work with us. But I still didn't want to believe it. I was like, oh, no, I want to see. I want to see, So that's where that fear of like, I'm afraid of my light. Why are you afraid of your light? And so that's one thing to look at. Now let's go deeper into this energy around Venus and the Black Moon of Lilith, right? So Venus in Scorpio and the Black Moon in Lilith. So this is the feminine energy that is being amplified during this eclipse. So we've been talking a lot about, like, what are we releasing, letting go, like all that dark energy. And now we're gonna, talk about this eclipse with the archetype of the Black Moon Lilith, which is associated with our primal instincts, our sexuality, and our repressed feminine energy. So Lilith teaches us to embrace the aspects of ourselves that have been rejected or shamed by society. Where have you been rejected or shamed by society? Is it around your sexuality or your body or anything like that? I know for myself that as someone who is a very, I love to wear skimpy clothes a lot because I wear bikinis and whatever, and I work out all the time. So I'm 99% of the time in a sports bra running off somewhere and I do a lot of live videos in that. And I actually got an email from someone on my list that was like, yeah, I don't like you and your energy and the way that you show your boobs off. And I'm like, it's just what I wear to the gym. I'm like, I'm really just not sure. Like, but I'm getting shamed around our feminine energy and like the who of are we, or even on the other side, the experience of the masculine and how has he rejected himself when it comes to sexuality and instincts and the feminine side of him. So this combined with the Venus and Scorpio, these two energies bring deep transformation in how we express and experience our feminine energy. Now our feminine energy, that divine feminine energy, has nothing to do with whether you're masculine or feminine. Actually, the key is, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later, is that we want to bring both of those energies, right? The yin and yang, the masculine and feminine, all of us. What sacred union? Everybody's wanting to find their twin flame, right? The sacred union is you are the twin flame within yourself. That is what we're looking to bring. So we're looking to bring that feminine energy together, whether you're male or female, that you have been repressing. So where have you been repressing your feminine energy? And this was something that was deeply powerful for me to realize, because I was major in my masculine most of my life. I was thriving, surviving, living in an energy of like, I have to get it done. I have to survive, especially after I ended up, I left the drug trafficking, then I was homeless, and then I then I built a business. And I was always, it was always me, and so it wasn't until I had an experience of being able to start to be in my feminine and then getting pulled back out of it again that I realized, oh, I need this sensuality, this depth, this knowing. We all need that, male or female, right? We all need that. So now I want you to think about, no matter what your gender is, they, them, he, him, she, her, whatever your gender is, I want you to think about your feminine energy. Are you repressing it? That's the sensuality, the play, the emotion. It's asking you to really connect back into your primal animal body and your instinctual self. Shed your shame, shed your repression that we've carried about our feminine nature. And we're called to integrate these rejected parts and stand fully in our feminine power. Because if you have challenges like I did with rejection and abandonment, where have you rejected and abandoned yourself? So I was one that was sexually abused as a very young child, right? And then raped when I was a teenager. And so my shutting down of my body and my, I rejected everything that had to do with that. So that's why when I get an email now that says like, I don't like that for you. And I'm like, good, go find whoever you love that you want to follow, because I'm not shutting down any part of me, because I shamed myself for so long for being in a female body, because it was dangerous for me to be in a female body when I was younger, right? So we have to see that. So I want you to think about that for yourself. Have you shunned your instinctual knowing, your sensuality, or your emotional depth? For the men on the call, right? For the masculine here, where are you not in touch with your emotions? Or where have you shut down your ability to find that sensuality and be in that space? Or been shamed for that, right? It goes both ways, men or women. We've been shamed for the emotional depth or that sensuality. Be a man, right? Be a man. No. Like, how do I connect into that energy? So we're looking at those things for yourself. Let's go over and see what else we have people. What are you noticing? Beautiful. All right. So next, we want to go in and tie even deeper into this energy around now that we've looked at some of these things, we've looked at our feminine energy. We have, we've looked at the role of Pluto in this deep transformation, right? The phoenix rising, burn it all down. Like, is there anything in your life that you're willing and ready to just burn it down and start over, right? Maybe it's an idea or an identity or a belief, or maybe it's like I did in 2022 when I shut down my business, like I left my home in California, burnt down my entire life and left the country. Like I'm always an extremist when it comes to those things. I was like, all right, we're done. I'm doing it all at one time. And I'm going to go just see what the world has for me in a different way so that I can do deeper work in that. So what are you ready to, to burn down in that experience? And then we're going to go more into the harmonizing of these masculine and feminine energies and talking about these two pieces together. And then we'll go back into the karmic releasing. So one of the most beautiful aspects of this eclipse is what we call a grand water trine. And so it's between Venus, Mars, and Saturn. And this is a highly healing and emotional alignment that supports deep transformations in how we balance our masculine and feminine energy. So first we're saying, don't shame yourself for the feminine, right? Find your depth and your intensity in your relationships. That's Venus and Scorpio. Then, of course, we just talked about Mars and Cancer, right? Mars and Cancer helps us protect our needs while maintaining emotional, sensitivity, right? Again, so it's that safety in that experience. And then Saturn, which is in Pisces, helps to structure these changes, giving them form and longevity. So together, these planets are working in harmony. They're working together to bring long-term shifts in your relationships and your values. And so when we look at this, right, we've been talking all about your relationships, your connections to your feminine energy, looking at the karma in the past. So now the question is, are you willing to let go of surface level relationships and step into connections that are aligned with your soul's mission? This is a really powerful one to think about. What are you willing, right, again, to let go of, not being worried about the safety or security, so you can really align to your soul purpose, your soul mission, what you're meant to be here on earth. I literally had to solidify into this new timeline for myself for where I was going. I had to completely let go of certain relationships in my life. And I'll tell you, I went with it screaming and yelling. I didn't really want to let them go. But then I realized that when I spoke to my soul and my higher self, what was more important to me in this life was to live into my soul's purpose and my highest destiny, and to do the work to help New Earth shift, and for all of us to live that, than it was for me to try to maintain an unhealthy relationship because I had certain feelings around it. So this energy is really helping us to mature emotionally, enforcing healthy boundaries, raising our standards for how we engage with others. And so this eclipse, with this support from what we call this grand water trine, really allows us to help us to find those depths, invites transformation and emotional vulnerability, and it protects our emotional needs while encouraging us to heal our past wounds. Again, that's that karmic stuff. And then it comes in and grounds the emotional and relational shifts, helping us establish new patterns. You see how 1, 2, 3 together, trine, right? 1, 2, 3, that's what that means, trine. Together. So we look at these pieces and we're again saying, what familiar habits are holding you back? What emotions? What aspects of past relationships need to be released? And I want you to write these things down. This stuff, anything that you want to let go of and release. Normally we don't do releasing and really like getting rid of stuff on a new moon, right? But right now, because of the Pluto, because of the eclipse, because of all of that, we're actually going to do some releasing. So I challenge you tonight, when you get rid of this stuff, to burn it, to let it go, to really do that. We're going to be doing some breath work to move through it. But I also want you to write it down and energetically let it go. Because what happens right now on this eclipse is when you let go of all of this south node, the karma, the other stuff, the emotions that are holding on, you're doing the Phoenix rising. You're burning it all down so that you can rise up into new beginnings. But before a new relationship can form, before a new career experience, anything can form, we have to acknowledge and heal the past. And so this is the other piece. We're doing this with love. We're doing this with love. And this is not just about the relationships with others. What else is within you, right? Your own emotions, your own things that you need to heal and let go of. What emotional patterns are you ready to mature? How can you align with the higher octave of these energies to create more fulfilling connections? Yeah, great. Okay, so now that you've got all of this kind of, yes, Michelle, feel like I've been doing this for the past year. Me too. I think that this is a 100% complete theme. Like I said, we were talking about from like October 2023, right? This theme has been following us around for a while. and there's just a final little piece that'll show up in March of 2025. But it has been going on for a while, started in 2023. So there's a lot of energy around all of this. But I feel through this transformation that we're doing is like, so you get the last final pieces out, right? Those little pieces of things that have really been holding in for you. The last string to say, you ever tried to like rip duct tape, right? Rip duct tape, and it's like at the beginning you're like, but then there's that one last piece that you never can quite get. You got to get your teeth on it. Like, that's what I feel like. It's like I got my teeth in this one. I'm like, I'm gonna finally finish this thing off. It's the last piece. We're done. You know, that's where we're at. Great. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna move this energy out of your body. We're gonna move it out of your system. We're gonna move it out on through some breath work here to really allow for the movement and the change. So whether you've come in tonight and you were feeling anxious or overwhelmed, or these emotions that you want to release, we're going to find that energy in your system and we're going to release it. So I'm just going to put on a little bit of beautiful background here. I forgot I need to play something I have licensing rights to or I'll get in trouble. Let me play my own music. All right, I'm feeling solar plexus. So this is, so I have frequencies that are made for my mystery school that we do that connect to certain frequencies and chakras. And this one is for our solar plexus. And that's what we're gonna be feeling into today. So I want you to just take a moment and settle down, settle in with me. Just take a few deep breaths. We're going to just release the final feeling, the energies of the karmic energy, the emotions, the relationships that no longer serve us, whatever that is. I want you to think of one thing that you really want to release or let go of right now. And I want you to just think of that thing, and as you're just breathing in through your heart and breathing out through your heart, I want you to tell me where, or I want you to know, where do you feel it in your body? Just notice it. Where is it in your body? Just send it some love. It's the piece, of part of you that it's stuck in your system, in your body. So we're just going to start to do some simple breath right into this area. So if it's in your neck, you're going to breathe in through your neck. If it's in your belly, you breathe in through your belly. If it's in your knee, you breathe into your knee. You're going to find wherever that energy lies in your body. And we're going to be doing just a simple shamanic breath. We're going to inhale for 4. So you're going to inhale through the spot. So I'm just going to pretend that for me, it's in my throat. So I'm going to breathe in for 4 through my throat, hold, breathe out for 4 out of my throat, and then hold on the exhale for 4. So this simple shamanic breath, we're going to be breathing in the energy of love into that place in your body where this energy is stuck, and then breathing out. I'm just going to walk you through the first few breaths, and then I'm going to, as you keep doing that breath, I'm going to have you ground and visualize some things, and then you're going to keep doing that breath throughout this process. Great. All right, so just finding that place in your body. And now breathing in for 4, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Now inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Keep doing this breath. Inhaling for 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, holding for 4. This simple shamanic breath right into the area in your body. Wherever you feel it, wherever you notice it, just breathing in and just focusing on grounding yourself in the present moment. Breathing in, holding, breathing out, and holding. And And now, as you're doing this simple breath, I want you to visualize, imagine, feel, see, notice yourself standing in the center of scales. You're just in the center of these scales, and you're noticing that the emotions and the waves and the people and the places, they're on these scales on the side, and you are in the center and you are the balance. You are finding the balance in the midst of whatever emotional waves are coming and going. Finding the balance as you allow yourself to just stand in this breathing in, holding, and breathing out, still in that same energy area. On sia sigishera fia si sinke she on here shigere sekia on sike shia si on sia on shia sere on shia mo sakri ki on sia ke holding into the balance, finding your center, seeing yourself as the pillar of the balance, no matter what the emotions rise and come and go. As you're breathing in, holding and breathing out. And then as you start to feel the energy release from that area or that spot, you can come back to a regular breath and then dive into that area of your body. And imagining that that part of your body had a mouthpiece. So if it had a mouthpiece and it could speak to you, let it tell you, ask it, what am I being asked to release right now? Ask your body what you are being asked to release right now. Just keep your breath going. I'm going to give you a few minutes to come into this energy, to feel it, to know it, to find the answers for yourself. Body is the wisdom keeper. You can drop in and it has all the answers. Back to your breath and receiving the answers. Serving you. What emotional or relational patterns are you ready to release? And just surrender. Now just start to notice that area. Does it feel different? Do you feel different? start to use that breath to fill up that area with a higher octave of energy. So now when you do that 4-4 breath, we're going to start that breath again. You're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and you're going to breathe again into that area. But this time I want you to breathe in love, acceptance, gratitude, the biggest, maybe it's even bliss or joy. I want you to start to feel the energy of the lesson. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Gratitude for this lesson, gratitude for this teaching in your life, gratitude for what it has shown you so that you can transform, so that you can burn it all down and be the phoenix rising. Allow for that energy as you breathe in and hold, and then breathe out and hold. Start to allow that energy to start to build in your body. Breathe that in, breathe that fire. Allow it to feel that energy into your system and start to fill up with love, with that gratitude. Start to feel it in your energy system. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, sacred body. Thank you, feminine wisdom. Thank you, masculine energy. Thank you for the wisdom. Thank you to that person, that place, that event that has taught me so much. Just allow yourself to fill up with that energy in your system, breathing it in. Thank you for the moments of anger and yelling at my phone to see where I needed to learn something new. Thank you for what the triggers that have been showing up for me. How that I transform and change. Breathe it in. And know that the stuck energies in our body are what cause the dis-ease in our systems. I've had people have instantaneous healings from coming through and learning these processes that will allow you to release the energy on all levels and completely have a shift and heal something. So tonight that healing begins for you. Now start to just come back to this energy, to this time, loving yourself, saying yes to this new energy, to sending that place love, to the last pieces of allowing these things to go. Yes, 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 it's time for something new. I'm here for it, I'm here for it. Are you here for it? If you're a yes, if you are a yes to life, and you're a yes to the next energy, the next transformation, your highest destiny, put a 1 in the chat. I want to see it. Or a 1 in the comments if you're watching this. Like, let me see, like, to own your energy, own the newness of what you're ready for. Really take that energy for yourself. Yes, beautiful. See all the ones coming in from everyone. Awesome. Yeah. This is your time. With Pluto coming into Aquarius, it is now time for the collective transformation, and we are all here to bring that together. So here's how we're going to just prepare for the future, right? Now we're saying it's time, prepare for the future, step into that. So as this eclipse comes to a close, remember a couple of things. The effects will last for up to 6 months, meaning that there's going to be ripples continuing until the next eclipse in March of 2025. So a couple of things that you want to do in the next 6 months. There's going to be some still lingering things going on, right? Around relationships, around the Libra-Aries axis, around these pieces of transformation, around burning it down and building it all back up. So use this time to reflect on what has shifted over the past year. How are these transformations guiding you to your highest path, right? Stay flexible. Surrender to the changes. Release the need to control the outcomes. Trust that this eclipse is directing you towards your soul path, even if it feels a little unsettling. And that's why I'm doing the 3-day immersive experience, right? So we have the first one on October 6th, and then October 10th, and then October 13th. And the reason I'm doing them like that, because we're going to do live interactive events. So you're going to come on here on just like we are now, but it's going to be interactive. Meaning I'm going to be pulling people up onto stage with me to walk them through stuff, to heal stuff on the moment, in the spot. I'm going to move things so we can tap into your creative energy, learn how to live into your purpose, ground in, heal the whatever's not what's holding you back, and step you into that, this destiny. Because in this portal of time, this 6 months, now is the time to really, really move into that final experience of letting those things go and stepping down to your North Star, finding and following the path to your soul's purpose, right? So this event is not just about like, I don't know what my soul's purpose is. No, it's about aligning to it. It's about really stepping into it. You may already know what your soul's purpose is. You may have already been understanding it. I have many of the people in my course. Barbara is an incredible healer that's been doing healing work for over 30 years, right? She knows her soul's purpose. But what does she need to let go of to step into that next level, to step into those things, anything like that? And so I want you to show up with all of yourself for those 3 events. And the reason we're giving such time in between is so that you have time to watch the replay, integrate, do the practices, learn the pieces. I want you to embody this. I want you to come out of this next week when this stuff starts and to really say, I took something of value and I was really able to change myself, right? And that is my goal with the Unlock Your Soul's Purpose virtual series that we're going to be doing, to allow you to really experience this. Because as we enter these final weeks of Pluto and Capricorn and this transition of the Libra-Aries axis, the transformations we experience will set the stage for massive shifts on both a personal and collective level. And if you're here, I know you're meant to do this work on both a personal level and with the collective to help us all move. This is what we are here for. It is the most transformative, powerful time that we can really be experiencing right now. And we must step into that, right? We must step into that. And then if you are, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of information about what's happening. So after those 3 events, which I'm going to be just giving and serving you in the best way possible. And then after that, if you are interested and want to find out more about either our mystery school, which is starting at the end of October, or join me in Egypt for 12 days for a transformative experience like I had, I'm going to be putting here in the chat, this is just a wait list. This just lets us know that you want the information about it when it comes out. You can put your name on that wait list, and when the information comes out about the mystery school for this year, about Egypt, we're going March 1st to March 12th of next year. Actually, that's almost already, we are almost half full on our Egypt trip. But if you want on the wait list, if you want information, just fill out that form and you will be notified after the live virtual series training. You'll get all the information about when the mystery school starts, what we're doing in it, how that experience works, and how that aligns with the energy of both working with ancient wisdom and modern science, which you're going to learn a lot more about as we step into this. So if you have any questions or anything else you want to share, how was that? I want to know, how was the meditation for you? How was that breath work and moving the energy in your system? Did you feel the movement? Were you able to release some things? Did you get an answer from your body about what it was time to release or let go of? I'd love to hear, like, if you want to share in the chat, like what you noticed or what you could feel that was releasing. It's going to be just a simple but powerful practice in moving the energy and moving things for yourself. So what did you notice? Let's see. Joy. Beautiful. Joy. Oh, so you were able to release and then you felt joy afterwards? Yeah? Beautiful. Was there anything surprising when you asked your body what you needed to release? Was there anything surprising that came up that you're like, I didn't really know I was still holding on to that? Or I didn't know that was the thing? Love myself and the rest will follow. Oh, yeah, beautiful. Thank you. I love it. Yeah, release anger. Yeah, not yet. Great. Beautiful. I felt it. Low confidence kept coming up. Okay, yeah. So you felt it, and now you kind of know, all right, I got like work on the confidence is that solar plexus, right? And it is about that personal power. So that's like, okay, how do I step more into that personal power? How do I, and that's partially, it's a nervous system thing, right? It's a belief system. It's in our energetic system. So there's all these different ways that you can hit that to really step into that deeper. First, the old story started coming out that I needed to let go. Then it reversed and I got the answer of let go of the old story. And I love that. Work on yourself to understand you deserve this. Yes, Miriam, you deserve this. Every single one of you deserve this. Thank you all so very much. I will see you on Sunday for our incredible experience. We have some 400 or 500 people registered. So come on early because it is going to be a busy event. We're going to have a lot of people on that. Not everybody could make it tonight, but there's going to be a lot of people with us over the weekend and for the next three events. So love you all. Thank you so much. Bye.